Hey there, what's up? My name is Ryan, and in this video we're looking at the board game Ticket to Ride. The basic premise of the game is pretty simple. On most turns you're going to do one of two things. One is draw some train cards into your hand. These cards can be different colors. In this case I have some yellows, some orange, and some wilds. Or the other main thing you could do on your turn if you already have the train cards that you want in your hand is spend some of these. In this case I could spend these 5 yellows right here and claim a yellow route out here on the board. Let's say I did that and I was a blue player here. I could then take some of my blue trains and then place them on a yellow route containing 5 spots. So in this case, there's a spot between El Paso and Oklahoma City that is yellow and has 5 openings. I spent 5 yellow cards, so I can put my 5 trains onto that spot. You're also going to have some cards like this from the beginning of the game. You also have the possibility of picking up some more as the game goes along, and they're going to give you goals like you need to get from Vancouver to Denver or from LA to New York. And you win the game by scoring the most points, and you get points in 2 main ways. This card here says 17 points for connecting Portland to Nashville. So you need a chain of those train routes, for example, 6 blues, 3 yellows, 4 oranges, a chain that connect a continuous route from Nashville to Portland, and you will get 17 points. You're also going to get a lot of points by claiming these routes. So for example, if you claim a route that is 3 long, you get 4 points. If you claim a route that is 5 long, you're going to get 10 points. And one of the main points of interest in the game is that once a route is claimed, no other players can use that route. So for example, if you need to get to Phoenix and other players start buying up these routes that go into Phoenix, you need to make sure you have a way to get to Phoenix before all the routes get purchased. Now this video is a review of Ticket to Ride, meaning I'm going to be telling you things that I do and don't like about the game. But I gotta tell you right from the beginning, I recently did a top 10 list of popular games that I don't get. Some popular games that I don't understand why they're as popular as they are, and Ticket to Ride is very high on that list. Ticket to Ride is one of the biggest differences in games that I think it's okay. I think it's fine. I'm just full disclosure from the beginning. It is just like a step below from a game I like. It's like right on that line where I think it's okay. But it is extremely popular. So in this video, I'm just going to focus on kind of 3 main things that I wish were different, things that make me not like the game a ton, and just go through them really briefly. But before I get into that, just know from the outset, I'm wrong. That this game is sold, last time I checked, 8 million copies. It has like, there's a Ticket to Ride, there's a Ticket to Ride Europe, there's a Ticket to Ride Germany, Ticket to Ride Rails and Sails, San Francisco, Amsterdam, London, New York, Asia, India, Poland, France. So this game is here to stay. I mean, it's been around for almost 20 years. People still love it. People are still buying it up. So I'm going to start here with some positives. I think maybe the biggest selling point of the game is it's fun to make routes. And this is true of Settlers of Catan. It's fun to have your little roads and put cities on your roads, but there's something satisfying, especially about a map maybe that's familiar, North America, or if you buy a map from another country, you get like we're going to connect this route. How do we get from New Orleans all the way over here to Portland? Okay, I want to go this route, this route, this route. And you kind of have some interest in trying to weave your way through a country from getting to the major cities to the major cities. So it gives you a little bit of that familiarity, like the city names you know, but then also trying to plot your course with the train tracks through the country. It also looks pretty good. I mean, I don't think a lot of people are going to be declaring this as the most beautiful game ever, but considering how old it is, it still looks really nice, especially if you can compare it to what a lot of people are coming from like classic games like Trouble, The Game of Life. You see this, it's a very nice drawn map where there's the pop of the train tracks. You can see that color kind of sticks out, but the map itself, there's a very, very nice kind of smooth undertone muted feel to it. But like I said, I don't consider Ticket to Ride to be a game I like. It is just below that cutoff, so I'm going to focus more on the negative and explain those to you. So up first here, I have lack of strategy. I feel like there's not a lot of interesting things to decide in this game. You have your routes in your hand. You want to go from this city to this city. The way the card drafting, I think some people like, I'm not that into. You want to draft the cards that you need. So if you need greens because you need a green route to connect your stuff, you're probably going to go for greens. If you see someone else is drafting greens, don't be worried, they're going to take your green route. So you might have to go to a red route instead. I don't find that interesting. I just think, well, yeah, I need the colors that I need. You can pick off the top of the pile, which is like a little bit of luck. If you've watched my channel before though, you know I'm fine with games with low amounts of strategy. I'm fine with games that are just kind of light and fun, simple, not that much brain power. But this leads right into my second big negative, is I like that if the game is short. And Ticket to Ride can often be a couple hours long, especially if you have the higher player counts, which is too long for me for a game that doesn't have a lot of decisions. If I want to play a game for a couple hours, I want to be really engaged, really locked in on the game, have a lot of cool things I'm doing. And Ticket to Ride is a little too brainless on the strategy side for me. for a game that's 2 hours long. Now I'm just going to go right into my third complaint, and that is there is one strategy in the game. It's extremely effective, and it's kind of easy to exploit. Now I told you that you get points for connecting routes on the game, but you also get points for getting these bonuses, that bonus of having like a 3 length or a 5 length or a 2 length. When you get those tracks completed, when you claim those routes, you get those bonus points. And here's the issue. Cards like this, New York to Atlanta, give you 6 points. So New York, Atlanta, 6 points. You're going to do a route of 2, 2, and 2 to get there. Well, each of those routes of 2 are going to give you 2 points. That's going to be 2, 4, 6, plus 6. You'll basically get 12 points from your route bonuses and from this card for doing that. But you're going to have to play the 2, another turn to claim these 2, another turn to play these 2. Well, if you would have just played one route of 6, even without completing one of these things, ideally they would work into one of these things, but even if you don't, a route of 6 is going to give you 15 points. A route of 10 gives you, 5 long, gives you 10 points. So here's my issue. A great way to play this game, rather than digging through the deck and trying to draft cards and draft cards and draft cards, and I need to get the right color in this combination, and spending all these turns claiming routes of 1 and 2, which wastes your entire turn, just build up a lot of cards. Build some routes of 6. You put a route 6 out there, 15 points. Another route of 6, 15 points. Now, ideally, you would, again, be able to do that while connecting some of those route cards, but the route cards are so not important when you put them in comparison, at least when I play the game, in comparison with how many points you can get when you get those big routes together. I've even known people who like this game, they say, oh, we love this game. Our daughter, though, every time she plays, she just gets a huge hands of cards and then goes boom, 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 plays them out, and she always wins. And the other advantage of that is, since it happens so quickly, the way you trigger the end of the game is you get rid of all your terrains. Once you have down to 2 or fewer terrains left, everyone has to finish the game. So you'll surprise other players because the game will end so quickly. They won't get to finish their routes, especially if they went out and got extra routes. They're going to get negative points for the routes they didn't finish. So again, one of the best strategies of this game is just to get some simple routes to finish. Try to finish those simple ones. If you can get a 6 while you're at it, great. But draw a lot of cards. It makes it, if that's what I'm doing for 2 hours, I'm just trying to draw a lot of cards, get big combinations, throw them down, big routes, I'm not that interested in it for the length of time the game is. But here's the thing I want to tell you. I think I kind of answered my own question, my own original question of why this game? Why is this the one that sold so many copies? I mean, I'm not saying by any means that I hate this game. I told you it's right below kind of that light category for me, where it's fine though. I can enjoy playing it, especially if the group is having a good time. Everyone's enjoying it. I can really enjoy a game of this. There's nothing appalling about it, nothing I'm offended by. I don't think the game is broken. I don't think it's horrible. It's just not my favorite game. So my question of why this game is, I think it's because it has so much mass appeal. You know, it's funny, I kind of came around to this because I was thinking, hey, it'd be funny to start this video out playing Ticket to Ride on the piano, right? I mean, that'd be kind of a funny joke. But I started thinking, I've known a lot of Beatles fans in my life, people who are really, really heavy Beatles fans. I always ask them, hey, what's your favorite Beatles song? No one's ever told me Ticket to Ride. People have said things like, or maybe, or maybe people who are a little deeper in the Beatle world might say something like, the point is, even though there's these particular Beatles songs that are a little more niche, a little more specific to people, maybe like you want something a little more slow, something a little more emotional, something a little more silly, Ticket to Ride song has that real broad appeal where if you took 20 Beatles fans, put them in a room, they might all have a different favorite song, but they're probably all okay with hearing Ticket to Ride. This also happens in movies too, right? I mean, if you have a really big movie fan and you ask them what their favorite movie is, they often will kind of surprise you, right? They'll say, oh, I like this really specific movie, and you're like, oh, but the really big movies, the really, really, really huge ones that everyone's seen, they have to be broad enough to kind of encapsulate a whole bunch of people. So I think that's what Ticket to Ride, the board game, does so well. I might personally want more strategy, more complexity, more decisions, but it has enough that I can at least enjoy it. And lots of people can at least enjoy it. It's not too much to alienate everyone who wants a really simple game, but it's also enough to at least somewhat interest people who want to make some of those decisions. For me, my preference would be for it to be shorter, but again, maybe it just kind of has that sweet spot where if it was 3 or more hours long, people would despise it. If it was 15, 20 minutes long, there'd be a whole crowd of people who didn't feel like it was significant enough of a game to get out and play. So in the end, Ticket to Ride cast a wide net. It is some people's favorite game. But then even people like me who don't love it, it's still a solid game that's fun enough that the group is having a good time and wants to play it, I can jump in and have a good time too.